What's up guys, welcome back to BB Collectibles, a place where I share our collections with you. Today we're unboxing this Bounceman version 2 Luffy from the P.O.P Maximum series line. This figure is something I've been wanting to unbox for quite some time now, but unfortunately I've been a bit busy for the past few months. If not, let's unbox it! First thing off, this figure is separated in two parts. One is the main body itself, the Luffy, and of course the second is the base with the small particle effects. But one thing I'm really a bit disappointed about is regarding the base. I wish they would have done it like the version 1 Bounceman, where they used the small particle effects as the main base instead of this octagon looking like thing, which does symbolize P.O.P. But for most of the Maximum series, if I remember correctly, only the two older series like the Maximum Frankie and Maximum Kid, they were still using this kind of base. But other than that, all the Maximum series, they all have their unique kind of base, like the Hancock with the snake and Kaido with the dragon cape effects coming down as a base. So I can't get why they couldn't have done this version 2 Bounceman the same. And especially with the upcoming Doflamingo release, I believe a lot of you want to put this figure, Bounceman, with the Doflamingo together to reenact the fighting scene from the show. So if the Doflamingo base isn't like this kind of base, I believe it may look a bit awkward if you try and put both of them together, right? So that is my only main concern. But other than that, I think this figure really does look quite amazing. And looking at the head, you can also see the details like the veins above his eyebrow and all. And of course his eyebrow and his ear, I feel that there are, you can see there are multiple layers to it, which makes it look much more realistic. And the way his face being puffed up and all, I think the overall facial expression is kind of spot on. And of course you see, if you look over here, you can see that there's a very obvious seam line around his neck area, which connects the head to the body. Okay, if you look at this angle, of course you can see it much more clearly, but I think if you were to display it in like this kind of pose, you won't really be able to see it. So to me, it doesn't really matter that much. This around, you can see that the straw have actually two different kind of shading of browns. You can see that above is like the lighter tone of brown, and the below sort of shows the redder kind of brown. Maybe sort of show that the angle of the sun shining through, that's why on top is lighter and all. And of course you can see the details like the three scars that Buggy made. Other than that, I think the head is pretty okay to me. And looking at his overall muscle throughout his body, you can see that they're actually really quite well defined. And the kind of shading around it, you know, like towards the lines, they are darker, and in between this area they are lighter, which is really good. And of course, if you look at the arm, I really like how they actually use this kind of brighter red compared to the previous version. Sort of show like the Luffy kind of haki, you know, and the way that they spray it with the ending with the sort of like sparkly glossy finish. You can see like a bit of like this kind of sparkly kind of stuff. I actually quite like it because anyway the main focus of this figure is more of like his fighting pose. So his arm and all, I think is by doing this way they make it more stand out. And same for the leg, you can see that yeah, the details such as the individual toes and all done pretty nicely. Same for the arm over here. Okay, you see the fingers, the individual sections of the fingers are done out too. Really well done. And as for the cape, I think the details like the creases throughout, you can see over here, and even at the bottom, all those, they're all done out pretty well. I think the paint job is fine. You can see that each of these, the flower pattern and all, painted quite nicely. And one thing I must say is I'm really impressed with the way they made and paint the pants. You can see the different tones of blue throughout, lighter kind of blue and darker kind throughout, and the details like the kind of jeans overstretching the creases all really make it very real to me. Even from far you can see that it really does look like those kind of jeans. So I think the pants is really well done. And lastly, the smoke particles around Luffy, the effects. I think this time they actually made the smoke look much more brighter in color, like the blue, the purple, and all. I can feel that compared to the previous time where it's more like grayish blue and purple. This time they make it more like white, blue, and white purple, which make it look brighter in a way. And of course, you can see that the effects around Luffy's attack, you can see that they actually make it like different colors, like this yellow, like those explosive kind of effect. And of course, if you look at the back over here, you can see that there's these kind of details, like below the arm, the smoke. They also make it red in color, which I actually quite like it. That's it for version 2 Bounceman Luffy. But have you guys ever wondered what is the main difference between this Bounceman V2 versus the original Bounceman version 1? If you exclude the pose, the major difference between them is really just the colors. The Bounceman version 2 is actually looks much more vibrant in color compared to the version 1, which seems a bit dull to me. If you look closely between the two hands, you can see that the Bounceman version 2, the red color on it is actually much more distinct than the first version. And of course, looking at the cape, you can see that the version 2 cape is more bluish, and the flower pattern on it is more of glossy finish compared to the first Luffy. You can see this the first Luffy looks more like grey coat and all. Yeah, so and of course, if you look at the smoke particle effect, straight away you can see that the one for version 1 Bounceman is more like a grayish kind of finishing touch with a bit of purple and blue around it. However, if you look towards the Bounceman version 2, you can see that the overall smokes is much brighter in color, like white as the base, and display the purple, blue, red, and yellow throughout it. If you look at the pants, between the two comparisons of the pants, as what I mentioned before, the version 2, the details on it is really extraordinary. You can see that the compared to the Bounceman version 1, where it looks just like some sort of normal pants without much detailing at all, compared to the second one where it does feels very realistic to you. Lastly is the muscle around his body. You can feel that the first version, of course, I mean, I have to cut them some slack because it's quite some time back, but the muscle isn't as well defined as the version 2 one. That's all for the two comparison between the two Luffys. Okay, overall I'll give this version 2 Luffy 8 out of 10. Personally, I really like it. I feel that the details on it is really well done. I think that the colors is like a main thing for me. It's striking, it's bright enough that to my liking. And of course, one thing I'm still very disappointed about is what I mentioned before, the base. I feel like they could have done it like this version 1 Bounceman. But other than that, I think this is still a really nice piece to collect. And in terms of price point now, I think this current version 1 Luffy is a bit more expensive in the market. So for those who want to collect this Bounceman Luffy, this is definitely a good choice to go for. If not, let me know what you guys think about these two figures and whether which one do you like it more. And of course, if you guys want me to unbox more P.O.Ps, whether it's the newer version or the older ones, older series kind, or want me to do a comparison, just let me know down in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much.